Hey, good yeah. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Infinite Crypto Cruisers. Hey there, folks. My name is Brad Varnell, and this is the Infinite Crypto YouTube channel. And today I am excited for another token teaser segment. Folks, I've got a great gentleman on the, waiting for me to bring him up to the stage here. We're going to have an incredible conversation today about an amazing layer one project named QUBIC. So without any further ado, let me bring Mr. Bill Schreckenstein, right? Did I get that right?
Right.
Bill, can you hear me, Bill? Right. Awesome. So Bill is one of the ambassadors for one of the U.S. ambassadors for the project QUBIC, and we're going to just have a good conversation, talk about everything QUBIC. But if you don't mind, Bill, before we get into that, I would love to hear just a little bit about your background and how in the world did you get involved in this crazy world of blockchain technology?
Well, that's a story. So I'll start at the root of my career. I've been doing IT projects for over 25 years. I started out as a software developer. I did some integration engineering, did some systems administration, and I was even doing project leadership at Lockheed Martin. Loved it. Projects were amazing, right? I mean, how often do you get to go and work on naval warfare projects, worked on flight simulation, worked on Army radar? Total blast, right? The downside for me was, I found the pay in the private sector to be a lot more appealing. So I at the end of my Lockheed career, I started getting into, believe it or not, storage, data storage primarily. And I had a gentleman that I was working with. He was what we call a value-added reseller. He was trying to sell us some product. And he said, I really like your work. Would you like to come work for me and make some more money? I said, sure. And at that point, I started looking at different roles within the private sector. And in 2014, I started getting into sales engineering, solutions architecture, really more of the client-facing, the real impactful work. And I had a gentleman, his name was Stefan Vervat. He hired me at a company called Amplidata, which was bought by Western Digital. And, I worked with Stefan and I've known him for over a decade now. And in 2021, Stefan was hired by a company that many people in the crypto space know, named Protocol Labs. They're responsible for Filecoin. And he called me up in May of 2021. He said, hey, I'm going to Protocol Labs. I might need your help here. I think you can help us here, specifically from an enterprise type of angle and permeating enterprise. And if I really like it and I think it's a good fit, I want to bring you over. So in August of that year, we started talking more and more. And then eventually they put me on a contractor type of agreement where I was doing some work for them. And then they liked my work, so they hired me on in full time in 22. And at that point, I started working globally with everybody that wanted to interact with Filecoin, whether it was someone in the network that provided storage or someone that wanted to use the network. So we were diving into environments, talking about use cases. I was working with marketing. We were making sales collateral. And it was kind of along the lines of what I've been doing the 7 to 10 years prior. And at that point, the guys at PL said, hey, come over and be an engineering manager, start working on special projects. We had one called Filecoin Data Tools that was meant to be a more of a performant on-ramp to get data onto Filecoin. At that point, Protocol Labs nucleated out. And what happened was all of the employees pretty much went off, and some were creating businesses. Some went to work for the businesses that were created, and others went off to find other roles. And a gentleman that I had met at Filecoin when I was at the foundation, his name is we call him Talent Nodes affectionately in our ecosystem. He said, hey, I really like your work. I want you to meet the CTO, see if there's any synergies there. And the funny part was he's like the tech lead. He and I have a lot of the same, I want to say, musings about the Web3 world. We have a lot of the similar philosophies, ideas, and he said, hey, I could use your help. So they put me on a 1-month provisional. They said, hey, we like your work. And they said, let's keep you on. And at that point, they said, we really don't have a U.S. presence. We'll make you our U.S. presence. And at the same time, we want you to work as a bridge between these two different groups. We have an ecosystem group and a technology group. The core tech is for all of the internals of QUBIC, the chain, all of the tight wrappers around the chain, oracles, the smart contracts. And then the ecosystem, what we do is we work with dev teams external to QUBIC that want to build solutions, whether it's a bridge, whether it's an incubation platform or something else. I'm actually working with a team right now to build a specialized smart contract IDE for QUBIC, web-based. So I get to work across those different things, and even at times I'll sit down and I'll work on a smart contract. I'll write one, right? So I get to do all of these really cool things, Twitter Spaces, and honestly, it's also about personnel and talent alignment. So we just brought in a brand new CMO who I think is going to knock it out of the park for us. I worked with her at Protocol Labs Filecoin. She was available to us on a fractional basis. She went through the interview cycle. They love her. We love her. I mean, I love her. I've had the chance to work with her for a couple years at PL, and I think she's going to be a very powerful ad for us, specifically when it comes to U.S. presence. The amazing thing about QUBIC, there are 500,000 wallets roughly in our ecosystem, and we have yet to penetrate the U.S. or a lot of the Asian markets. It's with minimal effort. These guys have been just kind of drumming along, generating this really kick-ass blockchain, right? And it's been with little fanfare. I had no idea QUBIC existed until I started seeing some chatter on Twitter, and I'm like, what's this QUBIC thing? You know, it's kind of wild. And that's when talent nodes have reached out to me and said, hey, you want to come join us? And I'm like, you know, I hear all about this chain, but I want to know more. And that's when I went through the interview process and learned what it was about. And I'm like, this is cool tech. So I have to be here. And here I am.
Awesome. Well, speaking about the cool tech, you know, I was looking at your website and we were talking, you know, a little bit off camera. It looks like QUBIC launched, you know, just about a year ago. And, you know, why don't you just go into, you know, a little bit about it. I'm going to go ahead and pop over and pull up the website. And then if there's anything that you would like me to, you know, to highlight. But one of the things that caught my eye, you know, was the fact that you guys are, you know, the first to integrate artificial neural networks for the future of artificial general intelligence, which, you know, we all know that artificial intelligence is probably one of the biggest narratives of this bull market. And so I was really excited to hear you just give us a little bit of an idea of what QUBIC does and you know, why you got excited about it when you know, did your research.
So here's why I'm excited, right? Everybody in the crypto ecosphere, you know, understands really the Ethereum way of life, EVM, right? And all of the layer twos above it. Crypto is a very unique layer one. It's written wholly in C++. The smart contracts wholly in C++. So it's built for speed. And that's one of the reasons that it drew my attention. But then you start looking deeper into QUBIC. So QUBIC at its genesis, right, instead of having all these validator nodes like you have in Ethereum, there are what we call computor nodes. And what they are is beefy compute. It's a lot of RAM, a lot of cores. There are essentially 676 that have the ability to vote every epoch. Our epoch is 1 week. Our structure is a little bit different, right? So if I want to propose something, whether it's budgetary or maybe I have a new smart contract I want to insert, I need 2/3 quorum. So 451 of those computers will look at a smart contract and say, yay, verily, I pass. This is good. The smart contract gets absorbed, or maybe it's a budget approval or whatever. But off of those computers, we have miners. And one of the gentlemen in our ecosystem did some calculations, and they figured there are roughly about 1 million miners in our ecosystem. So now imagine each computer with this network of miners behind it, each serving as individual neural networks. That's a lot of compute. And they actually, after doing the math, they figured out we would actually be, I don't remember what the number is, but we would actually be classified as a supercomputer if you aggregated all that compute power together, like a very beefy, top-ranked supercomputer. So when I look at from just the AGI concept that you kind of alluded to earlier that we're planning to bring out in 2027, which for me is yes, it's the bell cow, but there are other things we're going to be able to do here. When I look at that compute power and I look at how this network functions, it is very unique. And one of the things that I just did a meet the team interview, and my conjecture is very simple. People are thirsting for something new and unique in this space, but powerful. And that's what I feel QUBIC is. And that's one of the reasons I was drawn to it after sitting down and meeting the team and going through the interview process and understanding. And I still don't understand everything. I've only been here a few months. I still don't have the full scope of knowledge that some of these guys do. They're brilliant, right? But learning about what the capabilities are and what I hope to do with this network, and I sit back and I go, wow, this is really cool tech. For instance, we have inside of our epochs, we have ticks. So think of a tick as almost like an Ethereum epoch. It's short. Yeah, I think a tick is average right around 10 seconds right now. On our roadmap, for those paying attention at home, we're looking to bring that tick down to roughly 2 seconds. So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to do a speed test. So we're going to go into a tick and say, hey, here's 10 million wallets, seed it with a little bit of QUBIC. Just dust them with some QUBIC. And it'll, boom, within a tick, 2 seconds. Done, right? That's insane, right? That's insane performance for a blockchain. And that's one of the reasons I'm so excited, because it opens up so many different avenues for things that you can do with the tech.
Yeah. So I was curious. I'll put both questions kind of into one and let you figure out, the best way that you want to answer. But one of the things that I really am curious about is how in the world you guys do this with feeless transactions. Like I'm so used to paying transactions, whether I'm using Ethereum or Binance Smart Chain or even, Polygon, whatever. Sometimes the fees are much less expensive, on some networks than others. So I'm trying, I'm trying to wrap my mind around how you guys are able to do this feeless. And then my other kind of question is, how did the 676 computers come into play? And like, are those owned by individual people? How did you get, how, if somebody wanted to be one of the 676, is it just too late? Like, those are kind of a couple of questions that I'm curious about.
So how they came to 676, I'm not 100% certain on. But here's what I will tell you. That 676 can change weekly. Every epoch, we evaluate the top 676 performers. So if you said, hey, I want to build like this, kick-ass machine, and I want to be a computer, if you can put a machine on the network that can do the load and handle load, and you finish ranked high enough, you could slide into that computer slot and be a computer for that epoch. So that's the cool part about computers. It's not like, oh my God, I'm too late to the party. Now, it's a substantial investment in hardware, and there are individuals and there are even some businesses out there that will run computers. As a matter of fact, one of the things we're looking to do is to distribute some more infra gear, and with our computer business partners, they have data centers that they're running these out of. So there's a lot of opportunity. But even if you decide, hey, I don't want to make the investment in building out this really beefy computer, you can participate as a miner and join a mining pool. So there's a lot of avenues for participation. If you're a software developer and you say, I could build a really cool solution with this, and you go through and you figure it out, or you can even work with our ecosystem team, right? And we kind of walk you through what to do, but you can build solutions and participate and get grants. So if myself, I have my roots in software development, I might say, hey, I want to go ahead and build some software for QUBIC. I can write and draft a proposal, submit it to the committee. We vote on it. And part of that is to determine communal impact, right? We don't want to have a lot of, or at least a ton of redundant projects, right? You might want to have 1 or 2 bridges, but you don't need 30 of them, right? So these are all ways that people can openly participate in the network and contribute.
Okay, beautiful. And then how in the world did you guys do the feeless?
That has to do with the way we handle transactions within the network. So because it's a closed loop and the computers have that type of power and they're paid in QUBIC for their services, we don't need to essentially apply gas to those transactions. May that change someday? Yes. But right now, I love the fact that when they say, hey, I get paid, for instance, in QUBIC, right? So it shows up in my wallet. And then if I want to sell some, I send it to an exchange and that number stays static. I actually did a loom on this where I was like, hey, I've got 4 billion QUBIC. I'm going to send it over here. That's still 4 billion. Nothing else comes out of my wallet, right? So in the loom, I mentioned the idea that now imagine you have USDC on this chain. And I want to just send some USDC back and forth, and it's feeless. I've now created Crypto Cash App, like literally. So there's so many cool opportunities out there for application stack development on this stuff. And when I look at this chain, part of that potential and part of that realization is the fact that there are no gas fees to do these transfers. So for me, it's an exciting thing.
Absolutely. One of the things that I really liked when I was investigating the project too is one of my favorite questions to ask when I'm doing an interview is like, why does this project exist? Because I'm a firm believer that there's a lot of cryptocurrency projects out there that really don't solve any real world problem, that don't have, any utility.
Mm-hmm.
And we're really excited here at Infinite Crypto about the future of blockchain technology and where this is headed. And we're trying to find, the Microsofts and the Amazons and the Starbuckses of the cryptocurrency world, companies that are going to be around for decades to come. And I thought it was kind of cool on that note when I was looking at your website, the very, very like first or second question, second question here on the frequently asked questions is, what problem does QUBIC solve? So folks, you can go to QUBIC.org. That's their website. It's in the description of the video, and you can kind of read through this yourself. But in the meantime, I'd kind of just like to hear it in your words. Like, why do you, what problem does QUBIC solve, and why are you excited about the utility and what QUBIC is bringing to the world?
There's a couple different reasons. So we have the useful proof of work aspect, right? We're taking all this energy and we're using it to run AI jobs that have meaning. And with all of these neural networks and the ability to run these jobs, and as we build oracles, I can start funneling data in, and I can start doing things like I can protein fold, or maybe I want to analyze financial transactions, or maybe it's even think of all of the things that neural networks are used for. I could applicably do that here with QUBIC. But what really set the tone for me as to why we're headed in the right direction. Everybody's heard of DeepSeek. You've heard of DeepSeek, right? So everyone was all geeked up about DeepSeek. Why?
Right.
And the answer was very simple. DeepSeek doesn't require the $20,000 GPUs, the horsepower that a lot of these LLMs require, right? They're doing it with commodity hardware. Well, if you go and look at our computers, there isn't a single GPU in those bad boys. The miners can run them, and they can run commodity like RTX 3090s or less and still apply compute power. But if you want to look for someone doing AI, powerful, scalable AI, and it doesn't require $1 million worth of hardware to participate, that's us. We were doing that before DeepSeek. And that's how I knew we were kind of headed in the right direction. That I had that voila, panacea moment, like, man, we're ahead of these guys, right? And while I think DeepSeek is a fantastic technology and there are pros and cons against it, I'm sitting here going, okay, now I've got this network with this capability and all of this open participation, and there's all of these different types of activities that I can apply to a neural network. So as oracles roll out and I can start streaming data in, I can start doing all these fantastic things. And guess what? I don't need to go out and spend 20 grand on a GPU to be able to do that work. I have now completely enabled end users to harness this computing power in a new and unique way. And it's backed by an insanely fast blockchain.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, one other question that I was curious about was, this one here: how can I set up and recover a QUBIC wallet? Because from what I understand, as of right now, you can't send your QUBIC tokens over to, say, like a MetaMask or something along those lines. So for folks that are watching this video and they get excited and want to, go out and get a hold of some QUBIC tokens, what's the best way for them to get a wallet set up and have a way to hold their tokens?
Okay, great question. So I'm going to show you this right here. See this thing right here? This is my portable SSD that I can attach to my PC. When you create a QUBIC wallet, you can create what's called a vault file. I stick a copy of that vault file on my portable SSD, and I can recover my wallet. I can actually open my wallet up in the wallet.qubic.org space and use the web wallet and interact on that same wallet. So that vault file allows me to have that backup. Now, you brought up a very interesting point about MetaMask, and there's Wallet Connect and all that stuff. Have some really good news for you folks at home. We're actually developing a couple connectors that are going to enable MetaMask, that are going to enable Wallet Connect, and it's going to spearhead and accelerate dApp development for the ecosystem. So it's coming. Actually, we just just received a proposal from a team. We're really excited about it. We're actually adding in some bells and whistles and an SDK. So this is the direction we want to go. And they're even doing like testing on Ledger with this sucker. So if for those of you that are at home, you have a Ledger, which I have like 3 of them, right? I can start doing everything that I need with my QUBIC wallet, just like any other crypto. And it's going to be really, really nice.
Yep. So if somebody, it says here that there's both an iOS wallet and Android wallet in the Play stores. When they go to those Play stores, do they just type in the word QUBIC and it'll pull up the wallets? Okay.
Yep. And the cool part is, and here's what I will tell folks, these wallets are very basic for a very explicit reason. We want simplicity and ease of use. One of the biggest gripes about Web3 communities really is end user experience. Now, for those of you listening at home, when you create your wallet, so let's say like I have the iOS wallet, right? So, for sake of function, it's very, very easy to use. It's very simple. I'll show you here. This is like one of my dummy wallets. I'm gonna log in. It's telling me welcome back, but it's very simple. It's receive, send. The transactions are very easy to see. Now I can create my vault file. But what's cool is I take my vault file, I put it on my shared storage here on my portable SSD. I log into wallet.qubic.com or .org. I load my vault file. What happens next is something really, really cool. I unlock the ability to participate in IPOs, and there's the Q-Earn staking platform. So now, for those that look for alternative means by which they want to obtain some revenue, those are 2 areas, and you can actually compound them. So what I mean by that is you can participate in an IPO, receive some QUBIC tokens, and then put those in Q-Earn and compound your earnings. So for those wondering at home, what is an IPO? When a smart contract is proposed to the QUBIC network, it goes through literally an IPO process. You go through a Dutch auction. There are 676 shares assigned to that contract. If you win one of the shares in the Dutch auction, you lock your QUBIC. That QUBIC gets burned. And by the way, we've burned 30% of the overall supply. So we're deflationary. Now, you participate in the IPO. Let's say you get one of those shares. You are actually going to get residuals from holding that share. Any revenue generated by that smart contract, you get a piece of that in QUBIC. Okay. Now I can take it and I go to my Q-Earn staking platform and I lock it. And now, guess what? I'm earning, I think it's like roughly around 12 or 13% APR now. I haven't looked in a minute, but I put it on Q-Earn, and every epoch, it's calculating my earnings. So it's a really cool way to have a primitive wallet, very simplistic. You generate your vault file, you load it, you go into your web wallet, you unlock your vault file. So you load it, enter your password, it loads, you do your thing with Q-Earn or your IPO, then you just lock it again, and the wallet, you can't do anything to it till you load the vault.
Awesome. So I was also curious.
And that vault file, like I said.
Oops, excuse me. That happened.
Yeah, no worries.
Trying to figure out where I thought I accidentally turned something on. I thought I was hearing the voice in 2 different places. So I wanted to make sure that all of my community knew where to find you guys. So I do have CoinGecko pulled up here, and I was going to talk about a couple of different things, but I wanted to let everybody in my community know that the Twitter, the Telegram, and the Discord, along with your website, of course, are all in the description of this video. And I just wanted to hear from you, like, where's your favorite place to have new community members join you? Do you want them on your Twitter? Do you want them Telegram, Discord, or just all of them?
So what I find, at least my experience with my teammates, we're very Discord centric. However, we are also very X centric.
Perfect.
Now, the nice part is within QUBIC, you have your groups, right? You have like your marketing guys. They're more X, Twitter focused. They're also in Discord. There's actually a marketing Discord separate, but you will find myself, you will find engineers, you will find community members loaded throughout Discord. That is typically, in my opinion, the best way to contact us. However, following us on X will give you notifications for when we do things like Twitter Spaces. We did a great one yesterday introducing our new CMO and discussing the roadmap that I thought was a really nice space. And those are the 2 areas I would focus on personally. However, on Telegram, there's nothing wrong with that too. A lot of us are on Telegram as well. It's the way of the world with crypto, right? Those are your three mainstays and where you spend a balance of your time.
Okay, awesome. So it looks like I'm going to see if I can post this into the comments here. This won't be a hyperlink because it doesn't have the HTTP and everything, but this is the QUBIC handle right here, _QUBIC_. And so, folks, you can see their Twitter page here. One of the things that I wanted to point out, and one of the reasons that I brought this up, and one of the reasons I'm so excited about this project, is you guys will hear me drill this into your head on every chance I get, that in business in general, community is everything. But in cryptocurrency, it's everything, you know, almost times infinity. There's a lot of probably great projects out there that nobody's ever heard of because they didn't do a very good job of building a community. And I just wanted to highlight here, these guys have over 112,000 followers. And I always like to point this out here too. Like there's, you know, I've got about, I think I'm following maybe 1,200 people on Twitter, and 39 of them are following you guys. So I'm following a lot of cryptocurrency projects, a lot of people that are important to in crypto. So the fact that you got 40 people that I'm following that are also on your Twitter page and looking at you guys is definitely super impressive to me. So for my community, when you're doing your due diligence and trying to decide whether or not QUBIC fits into your investment, you know, your risk in an investment portfolio, these are some of the things that I really want, you know, you guys to look at as in my community. And for those of you that are already a part of the QUBIC community, man, congratulations. What a strong community you guys have. So I just wanted to kind of highlight that real quick. And this looks like an incredible Twitter page. You guys are posting on it all the time. It looks like, you know, so if somebody wants to go watch that, Twitter Spaces that you're talking about, you know, it's right here in the chat. Hey, look at this guy.
There I am.
So yeah, so there's their Twitter page. So Twitter and Discord first, and then if you just happen to be one of those people that just absolutely loves Telegram, they're not going to get mad at you for following them on Telegram either.
Nope. No. As a matter of fact, I have to put my phone in like do not disturb at night because my Discord goes bananas. And it's great. It's such an engaging community and people are very active. There's a core group of people that are very hardcore followers of QUBIC, and they have a very important role in like trying to drive the future. One of the cool things that we're doing now, specifically internally, is we're working with dev teams all over the world. So there are guys in Germany, there are guys in Canada, guys in South America, you know, all over the place, right? And what we're doing internally is saying what projects will really matter to the community. And we get communal feedback on these. And we actually have a grant committee that votes on these projects. But we'll say, hey, it'd be really cool to build X, right? So we go to these dev teams and say, give us a proposal. Tell us what it would cost to build. They build it. We vote on it. You know, it's a process, but we're wholly community focused. Our job is really to build a chain that's not only useful, but it's different and it's unique. There's, you know, you look at what's happened with the meme market, it's completely saturated, right? Pump.fun has kind of ruined things for memes, in my opinion. And people make money on it, which is great, but it's really just a glorified pump and dump scheme. And when I go and I look at projects like QUBIC, my first thought is this is a long-term investment. This is like buying Microsoft stock when Microsoft was in Bill Gates's garage in Seattle, right? Yep. So, you know, you can still get in at sub 300 million market cap. It's so low. And when you consider the potential and the promise of the tech and where it could go as a token, buy and hold early and just stick it in a bank, stick it in your, you know, like stick it in your wallet, just let it sit, because I think there is tremendous potential for this. Even if it 10Xs, you're still under 3 billion in market cap. And that's for really what could be an advanced AGI token, unlike anything anyone's ever seen. When AGI is released in 2027, that's our long distance vision in the short term. For those of you guys at home that are curious, you can jump on our site in our blog. There's an entire post about our roadmap, and you can look at it. We have a quarter by quarter breakdown. So I highly recommend for those folks that are curious about the project, spend some time on our site. You can find me on Twitter. I'm at Dr. Shrek77, and I'm also on Discord, WFSCHREC. You guys have questions. Hopefully I can answer them, and if I can't, I'll find somebody who can. But our goal really is to bring more people in from a retail perspective, because ultimately this project is so early. You can really go in and look and say, hey, I've got the ability to get in on this token early before it really launches. People look at like CAS, right? CASPA, and that took off, and it was an AI token. I feel this project is stronger than CASPA. I feel it has a lot more potential. So, I always look at it from that perspective. I know someone said, is it available on any decentralized exchange? No, but for those of you that don't like the KYC process, safe.trade is the way to go. And if
safe.trade?
Safe.trade. There's no KYC.
Okay.
And there's a tether pair there. There is a decentralized exchange coming, and actually we're developing our own called QX. So there's a lot of stuff to get excited about as we kind of mature. And anytime anybody has any questions, just jump on Twitter, X, whatever you guys want to call it, hit me up. I'll answer as fast as I can. I get a little busy because I have multiple roles within QUBIC, but we're all about helping people to learn about the project and contribute to the project.
Cool. Do you have any idea, any timeline at all on when there might be a DEX that decides to pop up and go to work on your network?
I personally do not. However, okay, I will tell you that on our roadmap, for those looking at home, there's a Q2 and a Q4 plan for us to be listed on Tier 1 another Tier 1 exchange. So okay, for those of you that like the bull run indicator or even just like a buy indicator, look for those announcements. They will be coming. As a matter of fact, the ecosystem lead, his name is we call him Albert, really sharp guy. He's working on a Tier 1 exchange right now here in the US. So as long as things go according to plan, it's going to launch here in the US, easy to buy. But for me right now, I'm using safe.trade.
Awesome. I just to mention, Rocky Vibes, that was a great question. Thank you. But when you're using a decentralized exchange, one of the main reasons for doing that is because you want to hold them in your own private wallet. So what I would recommend doing, I have a MEXC account. I use a VPN. I've never KYC'd. I've got a Gate.io account, never KYC'd. Most of these platforms you can use without KYCing. So if you don't want to KYC, you can still go buy this token on all of these platforms, including the Safe Trade platform that he mentioned, and then just immediately transfer the tokens over to your wallet. So go to, your iOS Play Store, your Android Play Store, download the mobile wallet, and then, buy the tokens in one of these spots and then transfer it over to your wallet. And now it's basically decentralized, and you still, nobody knows who bought the tokens or who owns that wallet. So yeah, and then we're definitely will be excited as a community to hopefully keep our ear to the ground. And if a DEX does launch on the network, that's so exciting. I really I made a lot of money on like the Aerodrome DEX when it launched on Base, and Pancake Swap when it launched on Binance Smart Chain. So if in the future a DEX does launch, it's going to be exciting, and hopefully we'll be some of the first people that'll be able to participate in it and invest in that DEX.
It's coming, and as a matter of fact, over the next couple of quarters, we have the Voton is a development firm. They're building a bridge, so we'll have a bridge with Swap. We also have an incubator platform from the team at Nostromo that's going to launch soon, so people will be able to actually build projects directly on QUBIC. There's a lot of exciting things coming, but like I said, whether it's safe.trade or, to your point, MEXC or Gate.io, buy it. I transfer it directly to this bad boy, and guess what? Once you buy it on the exchange, it's 0 fees to transfer to your phone wallet. It's awesome. I love what these guys have done with the tech. I think it's fantastic. And the nice part about safe.trade and some of these others instead of a DEX, you can set nice, clean, concise limit buys, pay attention to the bounces. You can set them up, fire and forget, and then transfer after you've acquired your tokens.
Yeah, absolutely. So real quick here, folks, I do want to go into a couple more things on CoinGecko. This is kind of where I give the obligatory, that ain't the right word. Why can't I say the word obligatory? Why am I? Thank you. Disclaimer, this is not financial advice. These views are definitely not Bill's views. These are just my own views. And I'm really not going to give you, too much of a recommendation, but I do want to show you a couple of things that stand out to me about this project. So one of the first things is, as he mentioned, you're looking here at a market cap of about $200 million. And this project is less than a year old. So, we do a lot of research and a lot of deep dives on microcap gems. So I talk about, a lot of projects that are down at 1 million, 5 million, 25 million. But I agree with Bill that 200 million is still just the tip of the iceberg. It hasn't even begun. Yet it's at a $200 million market cap. I don't know what the exact percentage is, but I would guess that somewhere around 90 to 95% of cryptocurrency projects never, ever in their whole existence get to 200 million. So that's one thing that I really like. The other thing that I feel like is super exciting about this is its all-time high here on March 2nd. We're about 85% lower than its all-time high. And so you have the opportunity, in my opinion, to get in on this, basically after an incredible retracement, and all of the markets have retraced. You can see just not that long ago, it was peaked up way up here. And then over the last, 60 days, 30 days, it's down 35%, but that's across the board. I mean, even most of the top 25 tokens like, Polkadot and XRP and Cardano and stuff are down 30% over the last, month or so also. So that doesn't worry me at all. If anything, I do think it is, an amazing opportunity. If you like what you see here, I don't think you could find a better time to jump in and, and buy a little bag. Like, you don't got to spend thousands, just go whatever you're comfortable with. I always say, don't invest money that you can't afford to lose. And probably my bigger rule even than that is don't invest money that you can't afford to leave in the market long-term, folks. Like, yes, this project might do extremely well over the next handful of months, but as he mentioned, you're getting in like at Microsoft, like when this was in Bill Gates's garage. And, I know people, I grew up in Washington State, actually. That's where I'm from. Just a few miles from the Microsoft headquarters. And so I know people that bought stock, back in, 1990, and they turned a couple of $1,000s into 50, 60 grand by 1993. But had they held that Microsoft stock until 2000, they would have turned a couple of grand into a couple of million. Mm-hmm. And so with a project like this, that if you really believe that this is going to be around for decades to come, I'm always going to hold a bag that I might never sell, or that I'm not planning on selling for, years and years to come. So that's my 2 cents on whether or not, this is a good investment. Do with that what you will. Did you want to add anything to what I just said, Bill?
Yeah, actually, Brad. So look at that chart. Okay. And you see how the price is low. It kind of goes down a little bit. And then there's that huge spike. Do you know what prompted that huge spike?
I don't want to say his name on the stream because it seems like whenever I say his name, the YouTube algorithm ghosts me. So, but if that's not the reason, let's talk about it.
So QUBIC, when it started out, right, they had their airdrop and it was at its all-time high, as you alluded to earlier, and then it came down. There was very little known about the project. Right before you saw that spike, QUBIC announced its white paper.
Okay.
White paper hits the streets and it takes off because everyone sees the vision for the network and it becomes crystallized. So at that point, the best part was I couldn't have timed my entry into QUBIC any better because they sent me my payment in QUBIC, and I'm sitting there and I'm talking to my girlfriend and I'm sitting there going, oh my God, this thing just keeps going. Like, it's not stopping. And it was just about the time that they put the white paper out. They've released a scientific paper. So there are things in this network that are going to be announced over time that are going to be essentially inflection points for the token price to just go nuts, right? And that was just from the release of the white paper so that people could understand what the technology was. It just blew up. And that's why I see this being a much more long-term sustainable project. As more people come into the fold, there's more investment. The potential is just insanely high for me.
Awesome. I love it. I think you're right. So with that, if you don't have anything else that you would really like to highlight, let's give away some money, if that sounds good to you.
Let's do it.
All right. So I want to thank the team. The Qubic team was generous enough to donate $100 to this live stream that we're going to give away. We're going to give away $25 to 4 different individuals. And as you have probably noticed during this stream, everybody is typing in #Qubic. That's how you qualify to win the giveaway, is by having typed in #Qubic. So if you haven't already typed in #Qubic, please do so now. Why am I having so much trouble pulling up this screen to where I can see all of it and get onto my screen? Let me try this one more time. Let's see if this one pulls it up. Nope, that one's the same one. Let's do this one on this side. This one, I think, goes directly. Okay, this one goes directly to my page. Okay, perfect. So the way that we're going to do this giveaway today, folks, is I've got some USDC, I guess it is, USDC on the Polygon Matic network. And so if you are one of the winners, you're going to go to your YouTube bio. Your page, if you click on your YouTube page, it's going to look obviously different than mine, but you're going to have this About section. You're going to go into your About section and you're going to put your MetaMask or Trust Wallet or Wallet Connect, whatever wallet you use that has the Polygon network on it. And you're going to just paste your wallet, your Ethereum wallet address on the Polygon network. And I am going to send you $25 in USDC. Part of the reason that we do that, folks, I'm also going to pull up this actual video that we're on so that I can see the names here. So one of the cool things, you'd be surprised, Bill, at how industrious scammers are. So what they'll do if I don't do this is they'll go clone the YouTube account real quick and try to act as if it's their YouTube account. But I've outsmarted them. If I click on a person's name here and then I click on go to their channel, it pulls up their bio for me here. And then I just leave this tab up until they've gone and edited their About. So 2 things real quick before we draw for the money is, number 1, you have to be present to win. So if you came into the live stream in the first 5 minutes and typed in #Qubic and now you're not here, we're not going to pay you. So for those of you that are still here, congratulations for making it to the end of the stream. And I guess there was only one thing. That's really all the news I have. Let's go draw the winners. And so here is my drawing tool. I set this up before the stream. And basically there's 95 of you that have typed in Qubic. And when I hit this draw button, which I'm going to go ahead and do. Oh, I know the second thing. So you got to, message us in the chat as soon as we pull up the winners here. Message us in the YouTube chat so that we know that you are here. So RS, and I'm going to write these names down so that I can go back if I need to. RSCSGO, you are our first winner. If you're still here, go ahead and let us know in the chat, please. Our second winner. I keep waiting for me to be pulled up as one of the winners because in order to set the example, I always show everybody how to do it. So far, I've never won my own giveaway, which is kind of nice. I obviously would draw another name if that was to come up. The other thing that I think is fair about this tool is that once you've won, it takes you out of the drawing, so you can't win multiple times. We want people to win. Now, this is interesting. This person won a giveaway a couple 2 or 3 days ago, so it does show that it's not impossible to win more than once. Congratulations. I probably already have all of your information from the drawing a couple of days ago. And then our fourth winner is going to be It really likes to be dramatic, doesn't it? EIF. All right, so let's run back over here to the YouTube and make sure that everybody is here. So here's Johnny, going to pull up your profile. And then we're going to go over here. We got Lee I again. go to your channel. Let me see here. I'm pretty sure. Nope, you undid it. So we're going to go ahead and let you. I guess you didn't want to leave your address up on your bio. That's okay. You can put it there again. Who else? Aris. Is Aris around here anywhere in the chat?
He did say thank you, so he's here somewhere.
He did. Okay, let me just go up a little bit. Aris. There we go. There we go. Go to your channel. And then last but not least was EIF. And I see EIF here. Finally, you can win. You've been trying for a while, huh? That's good. I'm congratulating. Why is it not here? Let me. Oh, there we go. And so we're going to go to channel. All right, cool. So we got all 4 winners pulled up. Hopefully you understood the directions. Go to your about here. Post a wallet address that will accept USDC on the Polygon network, and I will get these funds sent over to you. Today I don't have anything going on after the stream, so I should be able to get the funds sent out fairly quickly today. And with that, I'm going to come back over here and give you an opportunity if you'd like to, say any last words or just whatever give you the floor for the last minute or two, and then we'll let you go on and enjoy the rest of your day, Bill.
Well, Brett, thank you for having me on. Thank you for bringing QUBIC to the forefront, and all of you, thank you for attending. It was great being able to spend some time with you. I know that a lot of you are probably busy researching projects, so I appreciate the time that you spent to sit down and listen to me spew for 45 minutes. And I'm so glad you guys were able to spend some time with us this afternoon, and congratulations to our winners. Don't hesitate to look me up on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. We're in Discord. And if you guys have any specific questions and I can help, I'm happy to do so. Like I said, I think if you spend enough time looking at this project, my recommendation is to read the scientific and the white paper. I think you'll fall in love with the project. I know that I did, and I hadn't even seen those released yet out into the wild. So for those of you that love AI, that love the potential for to Brad's point, right? Not quite a micro cap, but it's small enough for massive potential. I do think that the panacea, the real moment is for us 2027 with AGI. However, on our way there, I think we're going to progress in leaps and bounds towards that moment. And that's when this token, I think, will really reach its full maturity and capability in terms of financial returns for even our retail investors. So guys, thank you all for coming out. I really appreciate it. It was great spending my Friday afternoon with you guys. I'd rather be doing this than working, so this is cool. Thank all of you. And Brad, thank you again. And you guys have an awesome weekend.
Awesome, man. We definitely appreciate you coming. I know that your time is valuable, that you've got a million things to do, and we appreciate you spending some of your time with us. And I agree. I think at this point in time, $1 billion used to be a pretty good sized market cap in crypto. Yep. But these days when we've got, cryptos that are going into the multiple hundreds of billions. Mm-hmm. And I think, we've all obviously Bitcoin is the only $1 trillion coin, but Ethereum's going to be at $1 trillion soon. XRP is going to be at $1 trillion soon. I think that we can safely say that 200 million is still a microcap gem. And so, part of the reason I do these interviews, Bill, is for my own investment portfolio. Like, I love to buy cryptocurrency. I was telling my channel a couple of days ago on Wednesday, my Wednesday microcap gem live stream. I'm like, I never have enough money. Like, you could give me $100,000 today, and I would have a bunch of tokens bought probably in the next 24 to 72 hours, and then I'd be wishing I had more money. And so I was already excited about this project, having met you and your team in the Telegram group. You guys were super professional, and I just really enjoyed the conversation that we had leading up to this interview. And I knew we were going to have a good time on this interview. But my excitement and my enthusiasm for this project, after actually getting to dig a little bit deeper and really start to understand it, is off the charts. I'm definitely going to be adding this to my portfolio. And you are now a friend of the channel, and I'm sure that we will have you back, man. When some new developments come along, anything exciting is happening, reach out to me, and we would love to see you again.
Hey, that'd be great, Brad. I'd happy to be back on. Anytime you want to wrap Filecoin, man, I can still do that too. But what I will tell the folks at home, look at projects like Tau, Bit and Soar, right? That's where we're headed. That's
Yep.
in my opinion the next stop for this train. So look at those market caps. Look at how big this project could get. I firmly believe that this is where we're going. It might not happen tomorrow, but it's coming. So thank you, all of you. Have a great Friday. Everybody have an awesome weekend. And Brad, thank you again. And anytime you need anything, just hit me up on Telegram. You know how to find me.
I definitely will. With that, thank each and every one of you who watch this channel. Thank you for spending your most precious commodity with us, which is your time. We love each and every one of you, and we will see you again very soon. God bless. Have a great day.
All right. Bye, guys.